Sony files a patent for a new DualSense with earbud storage, a team-up with Logitech for an Access controller expansion, Insomniac details more Spider-Man 2 costumes, and the Microsoft Activision deal is closed, what it means for PlayStation. All that and more in today's PlayStation news. Let's get to them. Sony has filed a patent for a potential PS5 controller that features slots for storing and charging earbuds. The patent illustrates different positions for these slots, including one beneath the controller's touchpad. This development comes after Sony launched the InZone Buds, a gaming-focused pair of wireless earbuds with spatial audio capabilities, and they had previously announced the PlayStation earbuds that have no release date yet. However, this is just a patent and it doesn't always mean it will materialize, plus it's unclear whether there will be demand for a controller designed around earbud storage and charging, as the earbuds themselves come with charging cases and the DualSense controller already faces battery life concerns. Sony is launching the new Access controller on December 6, priced at $90, a customizable kit designed with accessibility in mind that aims to help gamers with disabilities play more comfortably and for longer periods. The company explained the development of this PS5 controller kit took 5 years and involved numerous design concepts, prototypes and collaborations with accessibility experts and community playtesters with disabilities. The accessible experience starts with the packaging, designed to be opened with one hand, featuring loops for easy access and slots for organizing the 19 interchangeable button caps and 3 stick caps. Sony has also partnered with Logitech and the accessibility community to release the Logitech G Adaptive Gaming Kit for the Access controller in January. This accessory kit aims to provide further customization options for gamers with disabilities. Priced at $79.99, it includes 8 buttons and triggers, gaming mats, Velcro ties for flexible positioning, and stick-on labels with PS5 symbols for easy identification. Sony has stealthily addressed a PS5 user interface issue that made it impossible to search for game updates if a game tile wasn't on the home screen. Previously, if a game wasn't among the last 10 play titles, you had to load it to check it for an update, and then close the game while it was installed. Now this change allows users to search for patches on any game installed on their console, including those in the library, making it easier to keep games you haven't played recently up to date. Recent findings from True Trophies data indicate that Sony might be actively working on introducing PlayStation PC trophies, extending the trophy system to its PS5 games available on PC. They discovered this when their scanner found a PS5 trophy list including a platform labeled PSPC, implying that this new platform might share compatibility with PS5 trophies. This suggests that Sony is exploring the possibility of introducing trophies for PlayStation PC games, aligning with prior evidence found in data mining efforts and a Sony FAQ that hinted at the future. As Sony appears to be making a more substantial effort to establish a PlayStation presence on PC, the unification of trophy lists and PSN compatibility across both platforms will allow players to earn trophies on their platform of choice. For now, this is just some speculation on True Trophies' part based on what they found, but it could turn out true in the future. For some reason, the gaming media was confused about whether the new PS5 model was going to allow upgrading your SSD like the old model. Now Sony has confirmed that the upcoming PS5 model will still support expandable storage, providing gamers the option to add extra storage to their consoles. This means users can continue the same process of removing the back cover panel and manually installing an additional SSD, which has to be an M2 PCIe Gen 4 with a 5500 MB per second minimum read speed. The PS5 Slim will come with 1TB of internal SSD storage, an improvement over the launch model, but it will leave you with around 900 GB after the OS, so users will probably still need to upgrade despite that. There were rumors circulating about Naughty Dog internally cancelling The Last of Us Factions multiplayer. This comes after previous delays, downsizing, and reports suggesting the project's potential difficulties as a live service game. The latest speculation is from user The Tipster on Twitter, saying that given Naughty Dog's struggles with turning The Last of Us into a live service, they now intend to integrate the best elements of the cancelled multiplayer title into The Last of Us Part 3 instead of a game that tarnishes the brand. On the other side, there's Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, who has commented on the report and shutting down their claims, indicating it comes from a random Twitter account. So we're back to square one, the multiplayer is on ice, but not cancelled. At New York Comic Con, Insomniac Games unveiled 2 new Spider suits for Marvel Spider-Man 2, one for Peter and one for Miles, added to a list of rumored 60+ suits in the game that pay homage to the Wall Crawler's history. This could be considered a spoiler, so if you don't want to see them, skip ahead in this video. The Brooklyn 2099 suit, for instance, references the Miguel O'Hara era of Spider-Man, and the Kumo suit for Miles, which is a brand new design. Each suit grants special skills and in-game activities. That's not all, because Insomniac also teased future DLC costumes for the game. Famed artist and Brooklyn-based fashion designer Colm Kitsuper Delane is teaming up with other celebrities including Rina Sawayama, Lando Norris, and Vinicius Jr. to create a collection of post-launch costumes for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. In related Spider-Man 2 news, Insomniac also talked about their collaboration with Marvel to create a unique version of the Lizard for the game. Lizard will initially appear as a more classic and human-sized villain, but will evolve into Insomniac's version, which is bigger, greener, and more menacing, devoid of clothing and humanity. The PS5 graphical capabilities were used to make Lizard's reptilian skin look impressive with spikes included, drawing inspiration from real-life lizards and giving him a shinier, more aggressive appearance. The team also worked on creating realistic muscle movements through simulations, enhancing the character's visuals. Lizard's animation was another key aspect, focusing on conveying primal ferocity while maintaining his lizard-like features, such as shedding his skin. The character moves with a sense of speed and power, blending bipedal and lizard-like traits. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is less than a week away, and it can be preloaded from the PlayStation Store right now. What are your hype levels? Share with us in the comments. After 20+ months of scrutiny from regulatory bodies, Microsoft has completed its acquisition of Activision Blizzard, marking the game industry's largest ever deal at $68.7 billion. The acquisition provides Microsoft with ownership of popular franchises like Call of Duty, Warcraft, and Diablo, along with mobile gaming presence through King, the maker of Candy Crush. The deal includes other game developers under Xbox Game Studios such as Infinity Ward, Raven Software, and Toys for Bob. In their official press release, Xbox boss Phil Spencer said that, "For the millions of fans who love Activision Blizzard and King Games, we want you to know that today is a good day to play. You are the heart and soul of these franchises, and we are honored to have you as part of our community. Whether you play on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, or mobile, you are welcome here, and will remain welcome even if Xbox is not where you play your favorite franchise." I'm glad it's finally over for several reasons, one being the constant war on social media, and while it's not gonna stop, at least we don't have to see both Microsoft and Sony trying to undersell themselves as the poor guy in the gaming industry. Also, because I'm not a legal expert, so covering this topic was a real challenge, but it's also great that we got to learn every detail about a process like this one. So what does this mean for Sony? Well, they already signed a Call of Duty deal that guarantees the franchise will continue for the next 10 years on PlayStation. After that time, and for any other non-Call of Duty game, it will depend on Microsoft case-by-case basis, which means current stuff will remain supported on PlayStation, and for the new games, most of the time will mean Xbox exclusive, as we have learned with Bethesda. And that's fine, because Sony also has their own exclusives they pay for, and we need Microsoft to up their games so Sony doesn't feel they have free reign in the market, as we have seen with them raising prices on everything this generation. Yes, I'm aware Microsoft has also raised prices for Xbox, but the point is that competition is needed. If we go back to the PS3 generation, I think Sony took way more risk when creating games, simply because they had a real challenge from the Xbox 360. I believe Microsoft will still have the incentive to keep big community-driven games such as Call of Duty, Diablo, and Overwatch, regardless of a contract, because those benefit from bigger audiences. Looking at the bigger picture, I also hope Microsoft allows for teams to be creative again, as Activision had become mostly a Call of Duty factory, with over 10 studios and 3,000 developers working on the franchise. Let Beanox, Raven, Toys for Bob, High Moon, and more to be creative again. Microsoft won't give up or slow down on Call of Duty as it's a big cash cow, but maybe they can continue with half the amount of developers. There's also the worry of the Redmond company having a hard time managing all the studios they have acquired recently, with many game delays, studio cuts, and more, so here's hoping they can organize all the teams they have now. And there's the great news that Bobby Kotick is finally stepping down as Activision CEO at the end of 2023. Microsoft didn't confirm this, but it came from an internal email Kotick sent to Activision Blizzard employees upon the deal closing on Friday. Kotick will report to Phil Spencer while they transition into Microsoft. Bobby Kotick helped the company achieve great financial success, but in my opinion it came at the cost of siphoning creativity from their teams, and let's not forget about all the harassment and misconduct issues the company faced in recent years. Another company benefiting from this acquisition is Ubisoft, given that Microsoft sold the Activision streaming rights to them in a move that sought the deal approval by the UK CMA. Chris Early, Ubisoft SVP of Strategic Partnerships and Business Development, explained in an FAQ that this deal allows them to bring Activision games to Ubisoft Plus, as well as licensing games to other platforms including other cloud gaming companies, service providers, and console makers. The deal includes all current and future Activision content released over the next 15 years, including games and DLC. So we could start seeing Activision content drop onto PlayStation Plus Premium at some point in the future. That's the story and some of my thoughts on this industry-changing move, but what do you think about it? Let us know in the comments. Now it's time for a round of quickfire gaming news. Best Buy is set to cease the sale of physical DVDs and Blu-ray discs in early 2024, both in-store and online, as the market has shifted entirely to digital or streaming for movies and TV shows. The move won't affect gains as Best Buy will continue selling physical copies, but the acceleration of digital adoption in gaming makes you wonder how long will that last. Overwatch 2 Season 7, featuring updates and Diablo-inspired skins, has faced backlash due to a $40 price for the Ultimate Battle Pass, which includes the exclusive Lilith Moira skin. Players on Reddit criticized the pricing, highlighting previous Battle Passes costing $10 less and offering similar content. Plus, they are paying for what's essentially Diablo for advertisement. Bungie is compensating Destiny 2 players who were wrongly banned with 5,000 silver, the game's premium currency valued at nearly $50. Some accounts were mistakenly flagged for tampering with game client functionality, although most detections were accurate. Bungie has since updated its detection process to prevent such occurrences in the future. CD Projekt Red employed AI technology to replace the voice of late Polish actor Miłogos Rexek in the Cyberpunk 2077 expansion Phantom Liberty. After Rexek's passing in 2021, CD Projekt Red decided to use AI with the permission of his family. Then a new actor recorded the lines for Rexek's character Victor Vector, and a voice cloning software Reach modified the recordings to sound like Rexek. The use of AI in entertainment has been met with mixed reactions, but in this case, used with permission, it allowed the preservation of the late actor's performance. Shinji Mikami, known for his work on Resident Evil and The Evil Within, has hinted at his return to game development after the expiration of a non-compete clause. Mikami left Tango Gameworks earlier this year and expressed a desire to direct one more game before retiring. Mikami's return is eagerly anticipated, and he has previously expressed interest in making his own game, mentioning that his ideas were not limited to the horror genre. Grasshopper founder Goichi Suda also hopes to collaborate with him on a new Shadows of the Damned game. NetherRealm has released a trailer for the first DLC character in Mortal Kombat 1, Omni-Man, showcasing his brutal fatalities inspired by the comic books and animated series. Combat Pack 1 is set to release this November, adding characters like Quan Chi, Ermac, Homelander, Peacemaker, Takeda, and Omni-Man, and players who own the Premium Edition or purchase the Combat Pack will have early access to them. The trailer also features a glimpse at Tremor in cameo form. D3 Publisher will release Earth Defense Force 6 for PS4, PS5, and PC in the West this spring 2024. The third-person shooter was originally launched in Japan in August 2022, and will also be available in Asia with English language support in 2024. The upcoming Lollipop Chainsaw remake, previously described as such, is now being referred to as Remaster by the producer Yoshimi Yasuda. While last year it was stated that the remake wouldn't alter the original story or aesthetics, the change to quote-unquote remaster is not elaborated upon, leaving its implications unclear. Developer Dragami Games had previously delayed the release to summer 2024 to ensure the best possible quality experience, without revealing the platforms for the release. Tekken 8 was originally slated for a simultaneous release with Street Fighter 6 on June 2nd. According to director Katsuhiro Harada in his YouTube show, The two companies, Bandai Namco and Capcom, reached out to discuss the release dates and realized the clash. To avoid a crowded launch and allow both games to thrive separately, the Tekken team decided to delay its release by 6 months, moving it to January 26, 2024. The delay also provided the Tekken team with additional development time, as they already felt overwhelmed with their workload. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. What are your thoughts on them? Let us know in the comments below, give this video a thumbs up or down to let me know your feedback, check out more content you may like as well, and subscribe for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!